There are many internet oddities if you look close enough. Fragments of an unfinished ARG, a comic series detailing a man's struggle with severe mental illness, and maybe even a video arbitrarily put into your recommendations that just doesn't sit right with you. Like something is just slightly off about it. I've gushed how much I love the internet before on this channel. The ability to share, create, view, and watch anything anybody posts from anywhere in the world, granted they have an internet connection. And this dark underbelly of things that aren't quite right has fascinated me since I was a child. Seeing the original photos of Slenderman, listening to 4chan green text on the paranormal board at far too young of an age, there's a beautiful intersection between horror and being young, so raw and primal, the lack of answers just adding to this. This was the subject of my video last Halloween, horror where it shouldn't be. I'm completely obsessed with this type of horror, and as I'm not a child anymore, in fact I'm already a quarter of the way through my expected lifespan, the internet gives me a path to relive this horrible memory I've now grown to desire. Analog horror, ARGs, short films, and random clips can all exist in two ways that give me my psychologically tormenting fix. One is if they're unfinished. Either the creator got bored and moved along to greener pastures, or saw their work going underappreciated. Either way, they've packed up and moved along with their life. But as we all know, if you put something onto the internet, it'll stay there forever. And because of this, YouTube is littered with incomplete art projects, as if it were a digital graveyard. The questions they pose never to be answered. The second way is if they're unnoticed. Channels with less than 100 subscribers, videos with a handful of views. Even if they're not meant to be scary, you'll be hard-pressed to find anybody else talking about it online. And I know for sure that I'm not the only person enraptured by this phenomenon due to the overwhelming amount of videos of creators trying to break down and explain internet mysteries. Since running this channel, I've always felt obliged to my younger self to seek out one of these digital enigmas and give my 2 cents, just in case there's a doppelganger Unijoy 10 years younger than me going through exactly what I went through. The problem is, finding these types of channels is hard, and even harder still is to make a compelling video on them if there's nothing really to pick apart. Well, this October will truly be one to remember because I found one. I'm aware that at the time of recording, the initial enthusiasm will have faded, and you'll hear this read out through my typical monotone voice. But writing this, I can hardly hold in my excitement. While doom scrolling into the early hours of the morning, dreading the fact that I have university in a couple of hours, I found this channel, Blue Light City. A very apt name for the current state it found me in, the light from my monitor being the only source illuminating my room, making my PC, desk, and bedside table project shadows onto the wall, giving an illusion of a much grander scene. Blue Light City, or BLC as I'll abbreviate it to, has a couple of Minecraft videos posted. While the videos have been posted recently, in the channel description it states that these are re-uploads from footage recorded all the way back in 2013. At first, I didn't think much of it. If I'm being honest, the only reason I clicked on it was for a dose of nostalgia, and the curiosity of why the algorithm serves me up a 12-year-old video. But the more I watched, the more intrigued I became. The more I witnessed the original poster start to lose his mind. And this isn't even me hyping up the video like, oh, he went insane and killed his family, and then ran into the woods never to be seen again. There isn't any of that here. Over-the-top, dramatized stuff to be found on this channel. Instead, I watched a person fall into a deep depression, and then saw what can only be described as psychosis bloom out of his grave. I hope you're doing well. I'm Unijoy, and let me take you on a journey to witness the breaking of a mind. As all media should be experienced, we're going to go through this chronologically, starting with the video entitled Hello World. Its recording dated on the 15th of October 2013. While this video is a lot tamer on the weird horror adjacent aspects we'll come to see from this channel, it is quite important as it sets the stage for the rest to come. It starts off as innocent as you'd expect. Hello world, it's been a while since I played Minecraft, so I thought I'd give you all a tour of my world. I've seen others play Minecraft and put it online, and people seem to like it a lot, and I loved playing Minecraft. As he walks around the forest, we can see two houses atop a hill. One much larger house in an L shape on the bigger part of the hill, and another slightly raised to the left of it. I started on this world when I was much younger, so ignore how bad the buildings look. This one is my house. Right before he enters the home, we can see a sign above the doorway. Ross's Epic House. Literally a sign of the times. We can then assume that Blue Light City's real name is Ross. His house is pretty bare bones, only having a couple of chests and a furnace, crafting table, and a bedroom on the second floor. However, we are shown that he has an underground swimming pool decorated with a glowstone floor, possibly the most old-gen Minecraft build you could imagine. Down here is my swimming pool. I had to go to the Nether to get this glowstone. I lost a lot of stuff there. The water's different from how I remember it. Maybe it got updated. As Ross exits through a side door, he walks over to the adjacent house. At first, I thought this could be a sibling, parent, or friend's house. However, looking at the sign, it simply reads, "Welcome to my world." I built this house in case any of the other kids from school wanted to come round and play Minecraft with me. I offered a lot, but as you can tell by the sign, nobody accepted. It's probably my fault though. I was too young to know you couldn't split screen computer Minecraft. Or maybe they didn't want to come over. Hedgehog's dilemma, I guess. My mum would sometimes play Minecraft with me, and that was really fun, but we both knew it wasn't the same. I told her she could put her name on the sign, but she didn't want to, in case a friend did want to visit someday. She was the best. Aside from this being possibly the most heartbreaking paragraph ever written, we do get let in on some important pieces of information. One is that Ross recalls this as a happy memory. He might be slightly blinded by nostalgia, as he notes, but from the looks of it, he was a pretty lonely kid. The usage of Hedgehog's dilemma here seems pretty out of place, and to be honest, I only know what it is because of Neon Genesis Evangelion. It comes from the philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer, and explains why some people are reluctant to get close to one another. The closer you are, the more likely it is you'll get hurt, as hedgehogs are covered with spines. The closer we get, the deeper we can hurt each other. And the final bit of information that we get is that Ross's mum is probably no longer present in his life. She was the best. Either moved away, estranged, or most likely dead. Then Ross continues to open up about his childhood whilst running around his world. I always liked playing Minecraft. It was an escape when everything else in life wasn't going too well. Though looking back, it feels like everything was so much better than it is now. I think next time we'll do some mining and maybe build a bridge over the river. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next. And that's where the first episode ends. Like I said, not much to go off, but it sets the stage for everything else. We've learned about Ross, and we've learned why he's doing all of this, and so can continue to the next video. Mining time. Hi everyone. I just wanted to thank you all for the support on the last video. It really means a lot, and I'm glad you're all enjoying it. Despite this happy intro, looking at the last video, it doesn't show the support that Ross is talking about here. There's only 2 likes on the video and a single comment, which was from me about a week ago. I don't know if there are a lot of comments at some point and Ross deleted them all, or if he's pretending to have an audience to attract potential new viewers. I did try and check on the Wayback Machine, but as you can assume, from a channel this size, no logs have been made. Ross notifies us that he's done some off-camera mining since we last saw each other, and that's very noticeable from the massive hole he's dug out. It looks like he's marked out a chunk and just dug straight down. Though I can't be sure since he didn't hit F3 and G. It's a bit of an unconventional mining pattern, I'll be honest, but who am I to judge? If anything, it's a small hint at the later insanity we'll be seeing from Ross. As you can probably tell, I don't have a lot of people to talk to. I mean, I'm making videos on the internet, lol. I thought it could be awesome to turn this into an online diary. I'll boot up Minecraft, record a bit of gameplay, and then write about how I'm feeling. Aside from telling us how the rest of these videos will pan out, I think this is really interesting. There's so many channels online that do this exact same concept, getting millions of views, either talking about their day or generally rambling or giving advice on tough topics. Yet Ross was doing this a decade ago and didn't get any of the recognition he hopefully should have. I know this is overstepping and a little creepy, but I can't help but feel a little parasocial towards the guy. I've spent a lot of time sitting, reading, and writing his thoughts that probably nobody else on the planet has. I've been thinking a bit since the last episode. I hated those kids. I didn't do anything wrong. They just didn't like me. Excluded, picked on. Fuck them. Immediately, we can see a shift in the tone that Ross has taken from the mostly upbeat perspective he had in the last video. My childhood was supposed to be mine, not theirs, not their toy to play around with. I'm my own person, but they didn't care. My interjection might come across as a little unneeded, but Ross is very clearly angry. I believe that coming back into this world has opened up a wound he forgot about, and now it's burying it into his consciousness, just as he's excavating a chunk from the land. He continues ranting about how much he hated his childhood when this happens. The footage drops in quality, almost to the point where we can't make out what's going on, and cuts to black, whilst the audio distorts. When the footage comes back, we can see Ross has dug much deeper down, almost hitting the bedrock layer. He's clearly been driven by pure rage, as he hasn't stopped to plug the gaps from underwater caves, and there's currently water pouring into the pit. He stands in the middle of his creation, or more accurately, destruction, staring up into the sky as it turns to night. Funny, after all these years, I'm still hung up on it. I don't know what to do. This was supposed to help me, to have fun playing a stupid game. And now look, it's all come rushing back. Rushing. Oh. The water here is different. Something important to note is that he's mentioned the water being different again. Our first mention of the water was back in the first episode after he jumped into his very 2013 swimming pool. Now, Ross is right, the water did get updated in 1.13, the aquatic update. It now allowed players to be able to swim rather than bobbing up and down. However, if I were to hazard a guess on which version Ross's world was, it would be between 1.4, as we've seen bats, which were added in 2012's Pretty Scary update, and 1.8, as he's still on the old combat system. But even with that said, these videos are supposedly from 2013. 1.13 didn't come out until 2018, half a decade into the future. Pretty puzzling, right? At this point in our investigation, I can't really tell you what Ross means by the water's different, but it should be something to keep in mind as it'll keep coming up. To cover the glitch in the video, I don't believe this was made to be an ARG or digital narrative, so the inclusion of the glitch seems really out of place. Especially with the distorted audio, it seems like something out of an ARG, but again, I can't be sure. Unless Ross had some insane foresight back in 2013 when he was recording this, it just seems off. The main takeaway from this video is to show how Ross's emotions have been developing, not just towards Minecraft, but to the emotions that the Minecraft world brings along with it. At first, he didn't really dwell on them much, giving an excuse or a short explanation to move on, but now he's really dwelling on them, digging deeper both figuratively and literally. Something is wrong. Something is clearly altering his state of mind. Could it be a ghost in the machine? What caused the glitch and what could be tampering with the water? The title of the third video is A Bridge Across Different Water, and this is definitely where things start getting weird. The first 3 minutes of the video have no dialogue whatsoever. It's just plain and regular footage of Ross building a bridge over what looks to be a man-made river. The bridge looks very out of the norm. Keep in mind, the footage is from 2013. People's bridges look like this, or like this, typically just a line of blocks getting from point A to B. Whilst Ross's bridge is an incredibly realistic suspension bridge, it isn't completely unbelievable that someone could accomplish this, but when you compare it to the other buildings in Ross's world, like the houses, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Now this sounds like a bit of a stretch, however with future knowledge of what else happens in these videos, I think something is compelling Ross to build this. Not that he's being possessed by a ghost, that an entity external to him is guiding his hand, a slight nudge in the right direction. Just to give a bit of weight to my claim, I'll show you what I'm talking about. At 3 minutes and 42 seconds, we see this in the corner of Ross's screen. Standing on the bridge, there's a humanoid figure that looks to be made out of TV static. It almost blends right into the game's fog, but it's definitely there. I believe that this static thing is at the root of Ross's mental declining state. For it to appear on the bridge seems like quite an arbitrary location, right? Well, I'd beg to differ. Bridges have a lot of spiritual connection in them, in a number of different cultures. They represent quite a duality in the mind. For one, they show human ingenuity, connection with others, yet at the same time can represent the final resting place for many. L'appel du vide, or the call of the void in English, is an example of this. For those unaware, it's a somewhat unexplained yet studied phenomena where people get the pull to jump off a bridge or a high-up place, to swerve into oncoming traffic, performing some split-second act that would end their life. It's a sudden jolt of electricity passing through your body that spurs you on just to take your own life. Even if you've never experienced depression, suicidal ideation, or other related mental illnesses. Furthermore, in some religions, mythologies, and spiritual practices, like Norse mythology for example, bridges are seen as a connection to other worlds or planes of existence, literally connecting two pieces of land, but also opening a gate for other, more paranormal entities to enter our dimension. There's 3 possible people I believe that this entity could be. One being Ross's mother, as we know, she's gone. 2 being a completely separate being that's just shown up into his world. And 3, the most artistic interpretation, a personified idea of Ross's past self. We've been let in on a lot of clues that Ross is trying to emulate or reach back into the past. I mean, all the dialogue so far has been purely talking about his past, so this could be a physical manifestation of that. And just after we see the entity, Ross begins talking again. I was thinking, in times of hardship you do something big, something life-changing, something to make yourself unrecognizable, to make it help, to feel better about your situation. Religion, love, drugs, companionship, these things will help you stop thinking about it. The rage from the last video seems to have dissipated, instead taking a more hopeful tone. Hopeful in big quotation marks, as it seems like Ross is trying to convince himself that these things will help rather than telling us, like this is some form of self-reassurance. This bridge will help. People use bridges to cross topics they don't want to be in. Mud, cliffs, roads, rivers. I can't keep feeling how different the water is. This bridge will help. The water seems to be the source of Ross's mental state declining. It's a fair assumption to take from what he's been telling us, and he believes that the best way to escape whatever torture the river is giving him is to build a bridge right over it. But by doing so, he's allowed something else to enter into his world. Maybe something that's been lurking in the background since it began. The final video in this series is titled Komm Seldre, German for Come Blessed Rest. While this could be indicating the end of uploads, as in Ross is giving himself a rest, it's more likely referencing the song Komm süßer Tod, Komm Seldre, or in English, Come Sweet Death, Come Blessed Rest, by Johann Sebastian Bach. The song talks about readiness for death to come and how the protagonist is almost looking forward to it. This video is definitely an outlier, a mix of both Minecraft and IRL footage, all wrapped up in a strange package. So the video opens like any other, Ross walking across the bridge he made in the third episode when he throws himself into the water. Ross then spends the majority of this video running from his house onto the bridge, sinking in the water below, leaving it until he drowns, respawning and starting the cycle again. Whilst this is happening, some distorted Minecraft music plays in the background. When he tries to throw himself off again, Ross gets halfway across the bridge, then he stops and looks down. Static begins to form on the screen, and the music cuts. This sends Ross running away into a nearby cave. As he descends further, we hear water rushing, and it almost appears that the cave is filling with water, though at this point it's too dark to see. Ross eventually stops running and stays in the darkness, but when he tries to put a torch down, the video immediately cuts to an IRL recording of what I assume is his door. The recording lasts for an uncomfortable amount of time. Static begins to build on the camera, and then the video ends. Despite being a Lynchian nightmare, it doesn't actually answer many of the questions that have been brought up. For one, what is wrong with the water? Why is it different, and why was it brought up so many times? Why was it enough for Ross to build an entire bridge to avoid touching it? 2, what's the deal with the static man? What's the motives? Why was it chasing Ross around and possibly escaping the game? And 3, what drove Ross to such a point of mental fragility that he began rambling complete gibberish towards the end of the videos? There's so many unanswered threads.